Hello, beach friends. Today we will be exploring Keewaydin. But before we get to Keewaydin, we're going to need to take a boat ride and just watch for the ray right there. So that was a cownose ray, maybe it was a stingray, but it was one of the rays that was swimming down here. When you go on these boats, you get the opportunity to see some of these water critters. So we also saw a bottlenose dolphin. But what was interesting about this fella was it was lifting its tail up and slapping the water. Now, I've seen that kind of behavior on TV, on like say YouTube, but I never actually seen it out in the wild. So I got to actually see this critter. Now, supposedly they are herding the fish. Definitely some sort of feeding thing it's doing. So good luck with that dolphin. But we're headed over to Keewaydin. And once we get there, that's when we're gonna go exploring. And just like usual, we will find seashells. Now, it is summer. It's gonna be a little slower, but we're still gonna find pretty awesome stuff. And guess what? Even a bucket list shell. You could have knocked me over with a jingle. I couldn't believe it. So if you're ready to see what Keewaydin has for us today, let's go to the beach. So here we are on Keewaydin, and it's looking pretty good to me. Looking kind of chunky. Boat ride went really quick. I was chatting away with one of my subscribers, some of my beach friends. So hello, beach friends that I got to run into on Keewaydin. I hope you had as much fun as I did. So there are going to be shells here. You know, if you've watched any of my videos, I have a weakness for these fighting conchs. So I'll probably pick up a couple of those. But frankly, that's not all that unusual. I tend to pick those up anytime I go to the beach. So I've wandered into the water. I'm curious, are there shells in the water? And visibility, honestly, isn't great. I can kind of see there's not, it's kind of for me. So I'm going to go back up to the beach. The visibility is going to be a little bit better. Yeah, I'm not going to mess around too much right now anyway. So let's see what's up on the beach. Could be a multitude of things. Sand dollars, egg casings, seashells. It looks like bits and pieces here. That is a hinged giant Atlantic cockle. Yeah, that one piece was broken. I see a piece of a sand dollar. Here we go. That is a giant Atlantic cockle. Lots of arcs, your ponderous arcs, your cross-barred Venus clams. So a smattering of your common stuff. Not all that surprising, but let's keep looking. Let's see what else is going to catch my attention. This gorgeous fighting conch. Oh, you are so pretty. Kind of the orange with your little spikes. Yeah, you'll do. Oh, and wow, the reverse with that dark color. Oh, so pretty. Another gorgeous fighting conch. And a yellow prickly cockle. Yep, a little prickly on the outside with that little bit of yellowness. So we have our yellow prickly cockle, and then there's also a Florida prickly cockle. Those are fighting conchs also, and I do call them juvenile fighting conchs. Not that I know, I have no idea how old they are. I did 2 years old. I 2 months old. I wish I did know though. Wish I knew how long it took to get big. That is a big, beautiful buttercup lucine. That is a surf clam. See, as someone had asked me, and I am curious. Hey, Florida prickly cockle, how long does it take for these shells to mature when they get bigger? I don't know. I don't know. So many questions. Hello. Oh my goodness. You are alive. You gotta head back to the water. So it happens. Critters aren't quite done with their shells yet, and back they go. a kitten paw. And another. We have a pair of little kitten paws. And then look at this one. That's really pretty. I think that's a rough scallop. It's a little broken, like on the bottom, like it's little, I think rough scallop with like 85% certainty. This is a bay scallop. Gorgeous. So pretty. I really do like bay scallops. Lovely. Looks good to me. There's stuff there. All right, so I didn't really have much of a choice. I had to come when I came, and the tide was going to be high, but it is what it is. This was the only time I could come. The Hemingway Shuttle has their schedule. I'll talk about that in a little bit, and how I got here and all that. Okay, here we have a broad-ribbed cardita. I don't know what, I really like those shells. Well, frankly, kind of how I feel about all the shells I pick up. So this is a coquina. Kind of like them too. They're very colorful, even though they're on the smaller side. All right, and here we have, so normally I would say, I like a juvenile fighting conch. It has not grown to its full potential, but holy mackerel is it pretty, kind of with that caramel and the white and the texture. And then here we have a calico scallop. Not to be confused with the calico clam. That is a scallop. And an orange one, which is a little unusual. Speaking of unusual, we got some purple going on inside the Florida fighting conch. Now, I used to think that was kind of like I used to find purple all the time. But there is kind of a specific purple. That's not quite as strong as it can be, but it is a little bit more on the rare side to kind of find that strong purple color on the inside of a Florida fighting conch. So it's kind of something else that we all kind of look for. A couple of us are out here looking for those seashells and whatnot. Not too many people though. Like I said, you're going to have to take a boat to get here. Can't just drive over and park. Gorgeous fighting conch, but it's so worth it. There we go. That's a calico clam. A little worse for wear. Probably leave that. I'm just going to check you out. Oh, you're lovely, but I will leave you because you're heavy. I try to hold on. It doesn't always work that way. I try to hold out for the heavier shells on my return trip, but what are you going to do? So this is the upper rack line, and I honestly don't spend a lot of time. I need to spend more time up in this upper rack line. Totally different stuff up here, and I just wanted to check out the turtle nests. So these are turtle nests that are covered. Now they'll be covered with cages because they have more aggressive critters here, whether it be raccoons or something that might eat the eggs. And then I saw something kind of scurrying around here, and it's a ghost crab. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There it is. It's so cute. So that is a ghost crab. The adults, they kind of hang out more away from the water. The juveniles hang out more by the water. They're funny though because they'll dig a hole like right next to like a dead fish, and so they can just kind of come out, have a little snack, and then go back into their home. They're typically nocturnal, so it's a little unusual to see it out during the day. So that is a ghost crab. Didn't get a real good look at it, just kind of a passing glance at that ghost crab. Okay. Crab time's over. Back to the seashells. Whoa. No shortage of seashells here. And it's just a matter of kind of picking through what you like. Well, I kind of think that this calico scallop is quite pretty. So I'm going to hold on to that. Anything else? Now you could bring a rake and kind of move these around. I fully admit I'm more of a low-hanging fruit kind of girl. I walk by, I see it, I pick it up, and I just kind of keep it moving. So it looks like I have this worm snail. But that's not to say that my techniques might change in time. I do notice as I come out to the beach more and more, things change. That is an alphabet cone. It's never going to change that I want to find them. Alphabet cones are pretty cool, regardless. But, it's summer. It's going to slow down a little bit. We'll just have to see if we're going to be able to find some of those really good shells. A fighting conch. See, I personally think that those are really good shells, so I'll never be disappointed with those. All right, I bet you I'm chasing something. Now, this is my absolute favorite way to go shelling. You're standing in the surf, just kind of looking. Maybe you'll find something and you might have to chase it. Now, what I would do if you two kind of like this, keep in mind the shell's going to kind of keep moving down the beach. So if you saw something and you're trying to find it, figure out which way that water's going and kind of try to follow it. What did I see? Holy cow. Yes! An alphabet cone. Thank you, Keewaydon. You're too good to me. Oh, that's awesome. So to find that this time of year, great find. Great find in that alphabet cone. All right, what do I see? Kind of, there it is. Oh, it was well worth a little extra effort for that turkey wing. They are becoming one of my favorite bivalves, the turkey wing. I do really like them. All right, next up, all right, we have some thin-fingered coral. And coral is an animal. Yeah, it's sessile, meaning it doesn't really move around much, just kind of hangs out where, like a barnacle. Well, barnacles can move if they're attached to a shell, I guess. I digress. Here we have a lettered olive. It is not albino. It's not golden. Just a little bit on the light side. So there's some colorations with some of these shells that just make it a little bit more special to find. Not the spiny jewel box. Those are, in my opinion, very special when they're really, really spiky. So those little bumps can be quite spiky. This one's merely a little lumpy, but that is a spiny jewel box. Now, honestly, I think this is one of the most beautiful calico clams I've ever seen. It doesn't have that patchwork. It's almost got waves on it, the pattern. Oh, it's gorgeous. A gorgeous calico clam. Oh, hi, little horse conch. Oh, you're so bright and orange. It's like a piece of candy corn, right? Beautiful little horse conch. And another worm snail. Yeah, kind of have a weakness for those too. Little lightning whelk. Terrific. Couple of worm snails and a lightning whelk. And I think we're looking at a thick lucine here, not a Pennsylvania lucine. Yeah, thinking that's a thick lucine, but those darn Pennsylvania lucines do look very similar. I guess their lines are a little different. Well, that was a thick lucine. And that is a calico scallop. It just has a kind of a heart shape on the bottom, which was kind of neat. Kind of neat. Another calico clam. Sorry, clam, you're not quite as beautiful as that other one. But we have a nice little calico scallop and a banded tulip. Well, would you look at that? Sometimes there are an ample supply, and then other times, like I said, in the summer, it kind of slows down a little bit. Oh, it's a fighting conch, but look how stripy and, oh man, that is cool. The colorations on that. Yep. That is one awesome fighting conch. Okay, now this is a coquina. I'd picked up one before, but the color of the coquinas is just so beautiful. Yep, really, really pretty coquina. Now, I also tend to pick up things that just frankly shouldn't be at the beach. So in addition to shells and all the other some things I find, I will pick up garbage. And I do keep a tally of that at the end of the video. I'll let you know how much garbage I've removed off the beach in a little over a year and a half. How long is it going to take me to get to 100 pounds of garbage? Hopefully a long time, because that means that there's not a lot of garbage on the beach, right? All right, I'm chasing something. Oh, a little lightning whelk. Those are easier to chase because of the contrasting colors. Some shells are just a little bit easier to find than others. If it's a little white one, forget it. Yeah. Something, some little color with some contrast, that's gonna be a little easier. There we go. There's a little color. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's like a perfect little Florida horse conch. All right, we got a pair of Florida fighting conchs. Yep, they're perfect too. And another. Cute as a button Florida horse conch, and I really am enjoying myself, and it's just so nice and relaxing. So I'm going to be quiet and let you enjoy some beach time. And I'm back in the water. Another lovely lettered olive. Oh, it's missing its little top. Hard to say if I'll keep it or not. I can be known to be a little picky. But I will tell you, this is one of the most beautiful augers that I've ever seen. It's really big, it's purple, it's just beautiful. Now, I'm blowing in it, making sure that there's no hermit crab or any little critter hiding in there, because especially when you're shelling in the water, I gotta be careful to find hitchhikers. But beautiful auger, and I did double check, no hitchhikers. Here we have another bright orange. I think that's a rough scallop. Again, it's a little busted on the bottom. That's what I'm thinking that fine orange shell is. And a sand dollar. Oh, wow. It's like perfect. Yep. Might as well add you to the collection as well. Can never have too many sand dollars, can you? And here, not the crown. Oh, a little lace murex. And I'm trying to figure out, like, is it broken? It looks a little funny. Like, is it missing a piece? It's been hugged by the beach a few times for sure. Cute little lace murex. Yeah, it's just kind of shaped funny. It's fine. Lovely lace murex. And this, look at how awesomely black. It's not normally that color. It was buried in low oxygen sand, and it just kind of chemically changed the color of that shell. So cool. A Florida cone. Of course it's beat up on the other side. It's just how those shells roll. You have a really hard time finding like a really good Florida cone. Nice on the one side, that other side usually a little bit rough. And a worm shell. Now, these are actually snails. They're called worm snails. So that is a worm snail shell. They are still technically snails. They're not worms. No way. I love me a good albino. So that is an albino prickly cockle. I don't know what is going on. I've been finding them a lot lately. It just looks so pretty next to that calico scallop. Yeah, so pretty. Now, how did I get here? Today, I took the Hemingway water shuttle. It is one of the most economical ways to get over to one of these islands and kind of a do-it-yourself kind of beach tour. They'll drop you off and pick you up. Other than that, you're on your own. Bring your snacks, bring your water, your sunscreen, and you can have yourself an awesome time here too. It's the Hemingway water shuttle. A shark eye. Okay, so a shark eye is a moon snail. So when I say moon snail or shark eye, they're kind of interchangeable. There's other types of moon snails. That particular moon snail is called a shark eye. This particular awesomeness, I know it looks weird, it's a little beat up, and that's what I love about it. It's because it's weird. The lip of it, I know it's covered in beach stuff. It's really, really thick and it's bending out. It is just not the way that that shell is supposed to look. And I found that really interesting. Now there's other shells like a milk conch or maybe a rooster conch. I cleaned it up. Of course I cleaned it up. And yeah, it just looks, so there is a little bit of a hole in it, but that lip is just so weird and thick. Oh, I just love it. So let's go with my special shells. It's a little bit of a weirdo shell. I love you. You're perfectly odd. Come with me. Oh, and that's a bay scallop. So that's going to be kind of just that pretty peach color. Or your common stuff. Oh, am I going to grab the orange shell? And is this the shot? Yeah, I wish I got that black scallop too. It happens. So even you, I know that you watch and you might think, why didn't you grab that shell? Sometimes I do the same thing to myself. Okay, so this shot, I'm just moseying along. Remember how I said earlier, I really need to spend more time in the upper rack line because I really just don't. I really spend most of my time down by the water. But every now and then, I'll pop up here and look. Somebody missed this alphabet cone. And I guess I just assume that these piles have already been combed through, and that's my mistake. So yeah, never. No, no, it's not perfect, but it's still a really great alphabet cone. Woohoo! Awesome. Number two, another little banded tulip. You know, I say that like every other word coming out of my mouth is banded tulip in the winter. In the summer, not so much. Slows down a little bit. Oh, goodness. Lightning Welk, what are you doing over here? Awesome. Knock that little shell out. That's a great looking lightning welk. All right, the bottom, like the tail, is a little piece missing. It's broken a little, but that is an awesome shell. Oh, speaking of awesome shells, look how pretty. So that's just a calico, just a plain old calico scallop, but just happens to be ultra awesome. Okay, so the entire day, I did bring my snorkel mask with me. I was kind of hoping I would go snorkeling because it does get a little bit slower in the summer. It's a little bit harder to find those great shells. And I was finding enough stuff on the beach, the visibility. So I never did get into the water. It was one of the things I was going to try, but I didn't have to. It was kind of just finding cute little things like this Florida horse conch just sitting up on the beach. Again, the low-hanging fruit. That's me. Pretty calico scallop. Oh, that's so pretty. The orange ones, not as common as the pinks, whites, and purples. Gorgeous calico scallop. Oh, and there's one of those shark eye moon snails. Most of one. 65% of a moon snail. And frankly, that could have been bigger. That's the way they grow in a circle. So that center is always going to stay, that eyeball will stay the same size, and the shell will just keep growing. A lettered olive. Are you shiny and awesome? Yeah, that's what I'm doing with my thumb there. I'm just checking it. Yep, it's got its point. It's got some shells jammed in there. Lovely lettered olive. Oh, look at this. There's somebody fighting conchs. Somebody just... Yeah, they're playing games with them. Just line them up. That's how. There are so many shells. Yeah, you can just play with them on the beach. That's the way we roll here in Southwest Florida. Not too shabby. All right, so at this point, I'm probably heading back toward the boat that's going to get us, but I'm going to be picking up shells the whole time. This is a smooth duck clam. Had to look this one up. I do not find these very often. The channeled duck clam, on the other hand, I find all the time, but not this one, the smooth duck clam. And it has like that crease in it. It actually looks like there's a crease in the shell. A smooth duck clam. I think that's a ruddy turnstone. Little bird kind of doing its thing. Okay, an angel wing. Not surprising that all the hairy stuff is going to be on the smaller end because these are filter feeders and they just kind of bury that larger part down in the sand and then they open. So imagine if there were two shells and then they would filter feed and the top of that kind of stays up and exposed for other things to kind of grow on it. But I think I can save that shell. I think I can. So I'm going to hold on to that. Kind of slimy, half slimy angel wing. Now, the reason that we want you to keep dogs on your leash when you're at some of these beaches is for the birds, because the birds that are nesting, they are so endangered and delicate, and a dog, not only does it disturb the birds, it can trample the babies, the shells. We're not dealing with any of that nesting area going on here right now, but please do, if you do see the signs that say keep your dog on a leash, it's not for the other people, it could be for critters. Look at that cool cat paw, or kitten paw, right? That is one of the Hemingway kitten paws. All right, not really, I totally just made that up, but it looks like it, right? With all the different toes. Cool. Now, look at here. That is legitimate sea glass. So the stuff I picked up earlier, garbage. This is actual sea glass. Go figure, right? Yep, every once in a while, not often at all. Kind of cool. And so just show you, I'm at the point, again, I'm kind of waiting for the boat to come. My time is winding down here, but they have this massive pile. So I'm just kind of standing here seeing what other goodies could very well wash up at my feet. Now I do see this ribbed cantharus. I love a good ribbed cantharus. Oh, I really do. I just love the shape of them. So that is a ribbed cantharus. And would you look at this? That is a rose murex. That is one of my bucket list shells. No way. In the summer? At high tide? Really? You never know. So bucket list shell, woohoo. We're going to take a look at that in just a second against some of the other types of murexes. This is another murex. This is a lace murex. Still got its little frills, little sharp edges. Beautiful lace murex. And just like that, my time on Keewaydin has passed. I'm back in the boat, and hopefully I'll spy a dolphin. Because once you're out in the water, you never know what other kind of critters, and luckily we did. Now the dolphins, if you see like a lone one or two, that's probably going to be a male dolphin. The females, the babies, the juveniles, they all kind of hang out in their pods and whatnot. So this is likely a male. And it was big. It kind of came a little bit closer to the boat and we were able to see it. It was really, here it comes. And it's so fun too, because if you do happen to ride the Hemingway shuttle, they have a dog on the boat. Its name is Jack. Jack loves the dolphins. And so you've got the people and the dog like rushing back and forth on the boat, you know, to get a look at the dolphins. So I think it is fair to say that fun was had by all. Now, in addition to a couple of the seashells I took off the beach, I did take 1.62 pounds of garbage. And so overall, I'm creeping up on 36 pounds of garbage, in addition to a couple of other things that are a lot more fun to talk about, like the turkey wings and the Florida fighting conchs, the juveniles, including the adults. We got one sand dollar, a couple of those kitten paws, a couple shark eyes, the calico clams, that awesome auger, a couple of lightning whelks, buttercup lucines, that albino prickly cockles, some giant Atlantic cockles, some surf clams, looks like some distosenias, some spiny jewel boxes, some jingles, some black shells of various kinds. Ooh, look at that pile of worm snails. So all of those scallops, the lettered olives, a couple pieces of coral, and then my favorite stuff was that weirdo fighting conch, the rose murex, and then the big auger. I really did like that. The lettered, the alphabet cones, the Florida cones. Yeah, it was still really fun. So this is what I would expect to see if I were to find a rose murex. It's almost like a fire engine color compared to the one that I did find. Now I can see the pink undertones in the color of that shell. So it's definitely a rose murex, but the coloration is a lot more like its cousin, the apple murex, which is the one all the way to the left. So you've got your apple on your left, you've got your rose in the middle, and you got your rose on the right as well. But I just wanted to show you the two rose murexes next to each other. And then just for fun, let's throw a lace murex in there too, because heck, it's a murex, right? So we have the lace murex, the apple murex, the two rose murex. And then there is a cabret murex that I have not found yet. There's actually giant Easter murex. I don't have one of those either. So there are a lot of different murexes in the murex family, and I just think they're all kind of awesome. Patreons, thank you so very much for supporting me and coming along with me on all my walks, and everybody else who watches and leaves comments. Please, I read every single comment and I really, really appreciate you. I do. Next week, we are headed to Fort Myers Beach at low tide. I found really cool stuff, including my favorite albino find, I think, so far. Possibly. We'll see. I'll think about that. So you have yourself a great week, and I will see you again next Sunday.